don't care who this offends. The Bible teaches that it is a sin for man to have long hair, period. End of story. And don't come at me with Jesus had long hair. That is a lie from the pit of hell. There is nothing in the Bible that talks about Jesus having long hair. Nothing.
Well, what about the painting?
Only a bunch of paintings painted by a bunch of Renaissance painters. If Christ had long hair, which the Bible doesn't even mention as an option, because he never did. The Bible here says that it's a shame. And some people will say, well, it doesn't say it's a sin, it just says it's a shame. Well, but the Bible says the thought of foolishness is sin. And if the Bible says something is a shameful thing that dishonors Christ, and then you're going to say, well, it's not a sin, though. That's a foolish thought. The thought of foolishness is sin. You just sin by even saying that. Saying such a dumb thing.
You're right, this is dumb.
That's right. Because Paul said in 1 Corinthians that it is a shame for a man to have long hair. Now, some Bible scholars and apologists are going to come back and say that, well, what Paul was intending to mean is that man shouldn't have hair longer than a woman, and that is shameful that a man has long hair. And probably also has something to do with the fact that Romans would put on wigs and things of that nature and have some long hair if they were going to certain events. So it might have something to do with that. Probably, maybe not. But that's what Paul said. But what does the Old Testament say? Well, the Old Testament in Leviticus 19 says that, in Leviticus 19 verse 27, do not cut the hair at the sides of your head or clip the edges of your beard. Now, top of my head, back of my head, side of my head. When you look at anybody who has long hair, it grows from the side of your hair down, side of your head down. Now, so what does that mean? You should have some long hair. That's what that mean. That your hair should be long according to the Old Testament. This is why when you go to Israel or you in a neighborhood with the Orthodox Jews, you will see the men having maybe the tops of their head shaved, but the long hair coming down from the side. So they had long hair. That goes against what Paul said. And let's be honest, most of you Christians have followed Paulinian Christianity, meaning the teachings of Paul, over the teachings of your Jesus, and obviously over the teachings of your Old Testament. But what about this? That there's a representation of your boy Samson. Samson and Delilah. That's right. Now, if any of you guys remember the story of Samson and Delilah, what happened? When Samson was born, he was told, his mother was told, don't cut his hair because that's where his power is. That's where his glory from God is. And because of that, Samson was able to defeat the Philistines with a jawbone of an ass and kill all these people and burn down fields, and the Philistines couldn't stand his butt. Then they sicked old Delilah on him. He fell in love with that Philistine Poom Poom. And that Philistine Poom Poom, even though she lied to him once and lied to him twice, this fool, because Samson was a fool to give in to the Poom Poom like that, this fool told her the truth, that his power was in his hair. So she cut his hair off while he was sleeping. Don't know how you're going to do that, but she did it. He was sleeping real hard. They captured him, gouged out his eyes. But then they kept him around, tormented him, a whole bunch of stuff like that. Brought him out on display, put him between two pillars. Samson's hair had grown back a little bit. And the growth of his hair being longer and longer, Samson pulled down the pillars and killed about 3,000, 10,000 people because the power was in his hair. Now, many Christians, especially black Christians, will talk about how your hair is your crown, your hair is your glory, and all these sorts of things. And I know the Bible does talk about a woman's hair is her covering, and that's her glory. But when it comes to the menfolk, Paulinian Christianity says no long hair. Old Testament God, Yahweh, came, which would be Jesus, Yahweh, Jehovah. He said, grow that hair on your side. Don't cut that hair on your side and keep that hair on your beard. So Paul is in direct contradiction with your Jesus Godfather. So therefore, who are you going to follow? All you Christians should be walking around with a bunch of long hair coming down from your sides. Be rolling like Samson. But instead, you follow Paulinian Christianity, which is in contradiction to the rest of your book. But y'all keep on doing it. And then you want people to believe in this? Y'all can't even get it right. So y'all have a great day. And remember always, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey. good vibrations.